Hi, my name is Russ LeBlanc. I live in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and this is my FCA lacrosse experience. I accepted Jesus as my Savior when I was 7 years old. I always loved to play sports, compete in anything, and in high school, I played football and lacrosse. I went on to play lacrosse in college. I always knew I wanted to be a physical education teacher, and that's what I pursued in college. So when I graduated, I started teaching health and physical education in Baltimore County, Maryland. I also got a job as a head lacrosse coach right away. Through my years of teaching, I was able to be a head varsity coach for 40 seasons in a variety of different sports, but always lacrosse. My point is, I love to compete, I love to play, and there's so many life lessons we can learn through sports. My wife and I are blessed with 6 kids. They all play lacrosse too. I was introduced to FCA lacrosse when my son, in 2013, made an FCA Maryland lacrosse team. It was through that experience and that season that I was invited to go to FCA lacrosse camp. At FCA lacrosse camp, I really saw how faith and sports can combine, and how sports can teach more than life lessons. It can also teach spiritual lessons. It was so encouraging and inspiring to me to see the college players being poured into and loved on by the FCA staff, and then in turn the college players or huddle leaders pouring into all the players that were there. The lacrosse piece was really special, but what was really special was the relationships. To see these college players in small groups sitting in circles around the campus for hours, just talking about life, talking about the Bible, and putting it all together. I wasn't the only one to go to camp that year. I was also able to take all of my family. And so for my kids to personally experience this as well, as a father, meant so much to me. My kids have gone on to be campers, huddle leaders, train huddle leaders, play in Lake Placid, go to the World Games as ambassadors for FCA lacrosse, and even coach teams. So FCA lacrosse has benefited my family in so many ways I can't even begin to tell you. It was after that first year of camp, though, that I started to think, what would it look like for me to work with FCA lacrosse? And at the time, it was an intimidating idea. I loved teaching, I loved coaching, I loved the security of being a teacher, and so to give all of that up seemed like too much. For the next several years, we would continue to go to camp each summer, and it would be the same story, super impactful to me and my family, and me wondering how we could make it happen to work with FCA lacrosse. Well, we had some health trials through those years, and we also finally got to a realization that God was calling me to do this. In fact, if I didn't obey, I would have been in straight disobedience to God to not move forward in this direction. So we said, okay, Lord, you're going to have to make it happen. You're going to have to sell the house. 4 days later, after posting our house on Zillow, it was sold. And the people said, hey, if you want to move, whenever, wherever, we'll buy your house. Amazing. I could go on about other examples of God's faithfulness to us, God directing our steps, just because we were willing to take a step forward and say, okay, Lord, what's next? And so wherever you are in your journey of life and in your journey and understanding of who God is, I just want to encourage you, be willing to move forward. Be willing to take that next step. Allow God to direct your steps. It reminds me of Proverbs 19:21, where we say that man thinks he knows the plans, but it's actually the Lord who directs our steps. And so based on that and our faithfulness and trust in God, we moved to Florida. We've been in Port St. Lucie, Florida for 2.5 years. And in that time, I've been able to talk to several thousand people about who Jesus is. And I've been able to coach several hundred kids. And I've been able to continue to minister to local coaches and collegiately at high school level and at the recreation level. It's been a gift and an honor to be able to work with so many great people in the FCA lacrosse organization and even locally where I'm at. So wherever you are, again, in your spiritual understanding of who God is, I just want to tell you to pursue knowing God. If you do trust Jesus as your Lord and Savior, grow. Be in the Word daily. Be in prayer. Find out what it is God's created you to do. And if you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, please reach out to one of us. We would love to put you in touch with the God of the universe, Jesus, the Savior of the world. Thank you for listening. This is my FCA lacrosse story.